Some cups hold coffee. This one holds history. If you stay with me until the end, I will show you a 100-year-old Tacita. A very rare Tacita, aka Demitasse cup, gifted to me by my friend's Abuela, all the way from Havana, Cuba. But before we unveil that elegance, let's start where the Cafecito journey begins. With sugar, metal, fire, and soul. Today I'm going to show you how to make Cuban Cafecito the proper way. Thank you for joining me in my today's YouTube video with Do It Yourself with Bill channel. So this here is a Moka Pot, a stove-top espresso maker that has brewed Cafecito in Cuban kitchens for generations. So this specific one has a story. It's lived through the decades of mornings, family conversations, heartbreaks, and hope. You'll find it in every abuelita's home, and it lives permanently in every single abuelito, those cozy Cuban coffee shops where tradition never fades. Of importance to note, the Moka Pot doesn't make coffee, it builds community, which is why this lives in the heart of every single Cuban you will ever meet. Today we are using none other than Café Bustelo, coffee that's full-bodied, strong, and absolutely unapologetic. A single shot of this Cuban coffee is all it takes to power you through the entire day. No need for fancy machines. Just pack your Bustelo in the Moka Pot's filter all the way to the top. So you open the bottom part, take out the filter, and then fill the Bustelo coffee all the way to the top. That's very, very important. Make sure you fill it all the way to the top. This is not about just filling it. This is about strength, intensity, and essence. Make sure it's all the way to the top and press it to make sure it's compact. And let me tell you something. If you want to attract a Cuban from 2 blocks away, let this boil and simmer with the aroma in the air, and it will attract them like a siren song. You will see them all around you. So once you've packed that, make sure you hold on to it. But the most important thing is to make sure you get water. This Moka Pot water holder has a nipple. I call it a nipple. It has a nipple beyond which you should not fill water. So you should only get water to reach up to just below the nipple. That's because the water is going to shoot from here and you're gonna get burnt. So this is just like a breather of the pot. So I'm going to fill it with water up to the nozzle level. And there we have it. So with water right, and this is very important, water has to specifically be right below the nozzle. And so we are now going to take the Café Bustelo, immerse it right here, confirm that it's compact by pressing it in until there's no room for more. After which, you're now going to take the cover of the Moka Pot and turn it round, making sure that you catch all the grooves, not leaving out any room for spillage. And this has to be very tight You do not want to see spillage while it boils. You do not want to see anything seeping out. The only point where anything should seep out, if any, is at the nozzle where the breather is. So now it's time for us to place it at the stove and let it boil. And there's a reason as to why I used this specific pot. So it's time for me to turn on the stove, and I make sure that I open this pot while the stove is on, because I want to see the first few drops of the cafe coming out. That's what's considered the strongest, and that is actually what we want, so we can beat this coffee, and I will show you how. And as we do that, I will now prepare some sugar. I'll get some sugar and place it into this jar. I'll choose to have 2 or 3, let me say 3 tablespoons, and these are going to be used in that. Now we wait for this one to heat up. Now, here is where the magic happens. Espumita, the sugary foam crown of Café Cubano. When the first drop, that's the first dark drops of brewed cafe rise, pour just a teaspoonful of the first drops into the sugar and beat it like your abuela taught you. So this is where the magic happens. We wait and see. It's going to come out of here, the first few drops. And now you can lower the heat. You can actually lower the heat and wait for it to actually come out. So it's now boiling from under there. And you make sure you catch this. So let's wait and see. Still heating up. Of importance is to catch the first few drops of the coffee that comes out of here, and always make sure that this nozzle faces away from you so it does not splash any kind of fluid or hot liquid that could burn you. This is the moment where your patience really counts. It's said that the first few drops are the golden part of this. So it's already boiling. Now we wait and see. You only pick very little, just like a teaspoon of that, and that's when you make the espumita count. It has to form a foam, but that can only happen if you only pick a few of these drops. If you put in too much, you will spoil it. If you put in too little, you will as well spoil it. So just enough, about a teaspoon into this sugar that we have here. And here we go. Here it comes. There we go. That's what we wanted. So that's what we are going to have. And that's what we are going to pour in here. Just a little, and let the other one continue boiling. And now we beat this. We beat this so hard, and you have to put in some energy into it. You have to make sure that you're beating it and to a point that it turns the color. It has to turn the color from dark brown to a pale brown solution, and this has to be done to perfection. You can't afford to not do this properly. Now beat it with a spoon. Whip it like your abuela taught you. Keep going until the color lightens. and texture thickens into a golden brown caramelized crema. This isn't just a foam, it's a Cuban ritual. Oh, look at that caramel. You want to make sure that it has the white look in it. This works more or less like a frother, but this is where the magic lies. So I'm gonna cover this and continue beating it up. Creating the sacred Espumita. As we beat the Espumita, the rest of the Moka Pot finishes brewing. You will hear the familiar hiss from the nipple that I showed you when we started this video. It's the mocha singing the final verse. Now, pour that rich dark liquid into the metal cup and gently stir it in the Espumita. So this is what we've been looking for. Look keenly, and this is exactly how you should have it. Now pour this liquid into the metal cup, and when you do, stir it back and forth. Add some more. Make sure you stir it back and forth. This is the foam that we wanted to have. And now you've got Cafecito. This is the foam that we wanted. Not just espresso, but a drink of defiance, warmth, and welcome. So now we are going to serve it in some plastic cups. This is the foam that we need right now. We'll begin with the everyday experience, a small plastic cup, a tumbler, just like the ones you'd find outside a bodega in Little Havana or in a friend's kitchen in Hialeah. You want to shake it a little bit to make sure that everybody gets some foam. This is the foam that everybody desires, so it can be called Cafecito. Cafecito isn't a solo act. It's passed around, shared, enjoyed. Whether you're late for work or solving the world's problems from the domino table, this is what holds community together. And still, we haven't touched the real treasure yet. The handcrafted gold-coated Tacita I promised you when we started this video. In Cuban culture, coffee isn't about caffeine. It's about connection, a ritual, a rhythm, and the moment you smell it, memories start pouring in. People stop, they smile, they talk, and while the Moka Pot brings the flavor, it's the cups that hold the history. So let me tell you about this special cup you're about to see. And no, it's not this one. It's a special gold-coated, crafted by hand, and this is a souvenir from the 1970s. A Tacita, or a Demitasse, as many of you would call it. And this is a special one that was only used during special occasions. Passed down like a heirloom and gifted to me by my dear friends Abuela from Havana, Cuba. This is a gift in honor of our friendship and the memories we shared. So this is what I promised you, my friends. Behold, the Tacita, the golden handcrafted cup. 1 ounce, but yet holds generations. The Tacita comes from the Italian name Tazzina, born from the legacy of Luigi Tazzini, a painter and a craftsman who defined ceramic elegance by painting the accessories. So this cup is actually drawn by hand. This is a gold-coated Tacita cup and it's drawn by hand. It was drawn back in the years. So someone may ask, why do I hold this cup with so much pride and so much love? This is because this was gifted to me by my friend's Abuela, aka grandmother. Abuela is a Spanish name for grandmother. It was gifted to me by my friend's Abuela, who was given this cup by her mother in 1955, and her mother got this cup in, I think that was 1923, if I'm not wrong. That's about 101 years old. This is a very special cup to me. A Tacita, originated all the way from Italy. So I love this cup so much. These were actually done by hand back in the years, and that's what holds the elegance in the cup. This cup, just 1 ounce, is meant for slow sips, deep thought, and endless storytelling. Cups like this don't just hold coffee, they hold generations. From abuelitos to abuelitas, from plastic to gold, this is the forgotten elegance of Cafecito. And tradition, my friend, had never tasted this good and rich. Thanks for sharing this moment with me. I hope you felt the warmth, the beauty, elegance, and the sweetness of what Cafecito really means. That's the Cuban coffee. Now tell me, what's your coffee ritual? And by the way, at the description below, you are going to find a link to the Moka Pot, where you can purchase your Moka Pot. And you're also going to find a link to this very awesome microphone that I'm using here. It's what has made this video very successful. So if you liked this video, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure your friends also get to know about the beauty of Cafecito. See you on the next one.